Okay, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday evening. We made it to the weekend. We had another day where thunderstorms rumbled across Texas all night long. Then they got in here in the early to mid-morning hours and made a mess of things in a lot of spots. They've cleared out now. It's a beautiful, quiet Friday evening, and Friday night's going to be nice. Wanted to show you this. Had a great pic shared from our viewer Ken Gimber in Angleton as the leading edge of a line of thunderstorms raced in. And what you're looking at is what's called a shelf cloud. That is a shelf cloud. What you've got is a thunderstorm back behind it, and the outflow from that thunderstorm is raced out ahead of the storm along the ground. And as it's done so, it's created kind of like a mini cold front at the surface. Well, when you get a front coming along the surface, it lifts the atmosphere. And so it's lifting the atmosphere right along that boundary. And as it's lift, it cools, condenses, and makes a cloud. A shelf cloud. A lined it's a linear cloud. It moves right along the right near the surface. Here's a little closer view. You know, it looks like it's a severe thunderstorm coming at you, but it's not. It's just you'll get some gusty wind as it comes by, but it's that little surface boundary right out ahead, the outflow from the thunderstorm along the surface, causing the air to rise, and that rising air cools, condenses, and makes that cloud, the shelf cloud, out ahead of a thunderstorm. What a beautiful, dramatic image. Thank you, Ken, for sending that our way. Live outside right now, it's nice and quiet. High temp today did go to 89. Normal is 90. Record is 97, set in 1998. That was a hot summer. And the record low is 53, set in 1984, the weekend. So if you have outdoor plans, you got to get stuff done outdoors this weekend, do it on Saturday for a couple of reasons. Number one, the rain chance is low. 20% or less is the rain chance on Saturday, high of 89. Not quite as hot on Saturday, 89. And also a little bit lower humidity, just a smidge lower humidity on Saturday. That is going to be probably the best part, especially if you're north of I-10. There will be a smidge lower humidity, and we will absolutely take that all day long anytime we can get it. So as we're looking at the weekend headlines, I think things are pretty quiet going into the evening and overnight. Less humidity Saturday, and then Sunday in the afternoon from noon until 6 o'clock. That's when our next chance for perhaps strong thunderstorms as a disturbance rolls in from the north. These will be coming in north to south instead of west to east like the last couple of storm clusters like the one we had today. So again, Saturday, 20% rain chance. Sunday, bump it up to a 60% chance for rain and thunder. Could be borderline severe in some spots Sunday afternoon. And then rain chances drop back down to 20% or so for Monday and Tuesday. Outside, it's beautiful. We've got quite a lot of this mid and high level cloud deck out there, but it's not interfering with a nice evening. Sun's going down, still shining on Murdoch's there, Pleasure Pier. It's a beautiful evening to be out in Galveston on this pre-official summer evening. Summer officially starts by the calendar with the summer solstice around June 21st, 22nd. Galveston's at 83 as we begin the evening. Sugar Land is 87. Conroe's 84. Wharton, you're 84. Brenham, you guys are at 82 right now. And as far as rain goes, pretty quiet now that the main cluster of storms has exited through Louisiana. There it goes. Computers have been interesting. The last couple of runs this afternoon, we were watching in the weather office, and it was advertising that we might see a couple of little sunset sprouters. Couple of showers popping up as we got closer to sunset, and indeed over the past hour we had two little showers pop up right there in southwest Montgomery County. They have come and they have gone. Here they go as we went into 5:30 and then fizzling out as we got into 6:15. So nothing on the radar right now. We zoom in, there's nothing going on right now. It's still not out of the question. We could have one or two evening showers or maybe even an isolated thunder shower pop up in Harris County as we head between now and 8 o'clock. That's what the models are suggesting, but what comes will go very quickly. They'll settle down quickly. This is a quick look at how the front's going to come in. There's a weak front coming in Saturday. This is going to lower humidity for the northern side of our viewing area. So dew points will drop into the 60s north of I-10 on Saturday morning. So coffee outside, north side, may want to stay in the AC south side where the humidity is going to stay quite high. Here's a look at that future track computer model for the slight chance for an evening isolated storm that's not out there right now, but models say, yeah, we could have one now between now and 8 o'clock. After that, those will come and go quickly. And then overnight, things are quiet. This is 7 a.m. Saturday morning. An isolated light shower is possible, but I really think the computer right now is kind of overdoing it for Saturday morning. I think we're pretty quiet Saturday morning, and overall, it looks like a quiet Saturday. A little less humid, upper 80s to near 90. This is 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and the model suggesting an isolated shower may pop up, but really isolated. That is less than a 10% coverage that the model's advertising. I've put 20% chance in there, but really most of us are just going to be warm and dry on your Saturday. So get your gardening done on Saturday because Sunday things are going to get interesting. Now the model is just updated. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. So by 5:30 in the morning, cluster of thunderstorms rolling out of Oklahoma heading south as a disturbance comes in and rides the upper level winds. And this is going to race south. And there it is, arriving leading edge of a line of thunderstorms from Navasota to Beat Eyes to Madisonville to Huntsville to Livingston as we head into noon on Sunday. And then that pushes south. We'll be getting hot. We're going to be in the low 90s, a lot of energy. This is coming in at max heating. So some of these storms could be quite strong as they race south during the day on Sunday. So from north of Huntsville at noon to almost Galveston by 2:30. So these are going to be racing south at about 30, 40 miles an hour. Straight line wind gusts, a damaging straight line wind gust to 40, 50, or even to 60 will be possible in isolated spots with these storms rolling through. Download the app and turn on notifications. We go into 5 p.m., still have lingering showers and thunder showers as that boundary interacts with what's going to be a hot, humid day. So the energy will be in place. We'll have the trigger with that disturbance coming south. Good chance for rain and thunderstorms Sunday afternoon and evening. The second half of Sunday is our next widespread chance for rain and thunder. Will it be severe? Severe Storm Prediction Center has this in a 1 out of a 5-tiered severe threat. That usually means an isolated, like 1 or 2 of these could get warned for a severe thunderstorm warning. 3/4 inch hail, 58 mile an hour wind gust possible with 1 or 2 of those storms. So that'll be the threat as we head into Sunday afternoon. A slight severe threat on Sunday afternoon. Okay, hurricane season begins in 2 days. Again, as I've been mentioning, it's not like Mother Nature flips a switch. We've had many seasons, about every 2.5 years, we get a storm, a named storm in the month of May. So the season begins early. Sometimes we don't get our first storm until August. Hurricane Alicia, 1983, the one that hit us. The A storm, it did not form until August. So just because it's hurricane season officially doesn't mean we're going to start seeing hurricanes. And we don't think we're going to see any for the next 7 days. It's quiet. This is the forecast. I thought I'd just remind everybody the forecast for hurricane season 2025. NOAA says 13 to 19 storms. Average is 14. We had 18 storms last year. One of them, Beryl, hit us. They're forecasting 6 to 10 hurricanes, 74 mile an hour storms or above. Normal is 7. Major hurricanes, 3 to 5. Normal is 3. And that's interesting. Maybe we'll get a bunch of storms, but this doesn't tell us where they're going to form. It doesn't tell us where they're going to go. So when I get this forecast, I look at it, put it down, and we all just take this one day at a time. What does that mean? That means the price of living here where we're under the threat for hurricanes is you watch the weather once a day, every day. Twice is better, once in the morning, once in the evening, because sometimes, like Beryl formed in the open Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean. We had lots of time to watch that. Sometimes they form right on our doorstep and we don't get days and days to prepare, and those can be big ones. Audrey, 1957, was a big one that formed in the Gulf in June. No storms expected over the Atlantic Basin for the next 7 days. Everything's quiet out there right now. Expect it to start the season quiet. In the East Pac, we've got Alvin. That is the first storm of the Eastern Pacific season. The East Pac season starts in May. It gets going a little earlier out here, but this is their first storm here at the end of May. This one is forecast to bring some breezy and wet conditions to Cabo San Lucas on the tip of the Baja, and that's about it. Then it will fizzle out. What we do have out over the open Atlantic is dust. This is a layer of dry, sinking air. That's exactly the opposite of what you need to get storms going. You need rising humid air for tropical systems to develop in. So sinking dry air does tend to hinder tropical development, and that's probably why we're starting out quiet. And by the way, it's quite common to see a lot of dust for the first couple of months of hurricane season. That's one of the reasons why it can be quiet in June and July. And then the storms out here over the desert of Western Africa, the Sahara, the storms begin to settle down a little bit as you get toward August, so there's less dust kicked up. This dust is kicked up by thunderstorms out here over the desert, and it blows it up into the air, and then it blows it on across the Atlantic. But as we get later in the season, we get less dust. That's another reason why the storms can ramp up later in the season. Also, things get warmer the later in the season as well. We may see some of this dust in our sky, hazy skies, as the dust, some of it's forecast to get in here as we head into Saturday, June the 7th. So about a week from now, we could see some of that Saharan dust. Here's Saturday. Low chance for a scattered shower, otherwise warm and humid. Not as humid as it's been, but still kind of humid. High temp goes up to 89. A nice Saturday. And as we mentioned, from noon to at least 6 o'clock on Sunday, good chance for rain and thunder to rumble in from north to south. Could see an isolated severe storm. Download the app, turn on notifications, so if you're out and about, you'll get notified if we get a severe weather alert where you are. Pretty normal summer weather Monday, Tuesday. We ramp rain chances up to 30 and 40% Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week as another little disturbance rolls in. That's where we stand on a Friday at the end of May in Houston, Texas. Have a beautiful evening and a beautiful weekend, everybody.